out here with City Fam, partnering with Be More Caring. So I'm really excited, and I just wanted everyone to see what our service Saturdays, which are now going to be called Sold Out Saturdays, consist of. I wanted you guys to learn a little bit more about some causes in the community, specifically Be More Caring. So here's a little fun fact that most people don't know. Me and Josh Hansjörg, who was the founder of Be More Caring, went to high school together. In 10th grade, I went to a place called Calvary Chapel. I got kicked out. I was expelled halfway through my 10th grade year. He graduated. He was a good student. But we reconnected a few years ago, and he's been doing some awesome things in Anne Arundel County and Baltimore City. And I wanted you guys to learn more. So tell everybody about what is Be More Caring and why did you start it?
So we basically started because I was actually driving part-time for Uber, and I kept seeing homelessness over and over again, and it really became something that just became ingrained in me. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but I used to pull up. You get at the stoplight, and that guy'd be there. You kind of pull up a little bit just so you don't see him anymore. You lock the doors. That was me. I'm from Pasadena. I'm not a city guy, and so I'm seeing this over and over again. And there was a pivotal night, one night when I was coming home. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I saw this guy, but what I thought I saw was a bag of trash. And I did a double take, and I looked, and it was this guy laying on 3 pieces of paper blowing all over. He had obviously been there all night long. And I just was like, oh my gosh, I'm watching people go around him, go on the other side of the street, and I'm like, nobody is doing anything. And if you ever look around and you say nobody is doing anything, that's a real good sign that it's you that's supposed to be doing something. That's a little free tip. So I get out of the car and I go up to him because I'm convinced he's dead. And I tap him on the shoulder. Hey, sir, you okay? Ah, yeah, hey, how you doing? Like, first real, like he just, was turned his head and he's right there. It was crazy. And I went back in my car and just kind of mentally exploded for about 10 minutes. And at that stage, it was like a voice spoke to me and said, all right, enough telling me why you can't help the homeless, enough telling me what you can't do to help them, and start showing me what you can do. And so from that point forward, I just put out SOS, hey guys, these are the people that I'm seeing, posted stories on Facebook, and just said, we want to help, give me your sleeping bags and I'll pass them out. And the best part about this is I found an amazing group of people that wanted to do it too. And it wasn't just me, and people just came out of the woodwork that I had no idea had a desire to do this. And that's I think the most exciting part for me now is being able to help bring people into an area where they can serve.
That's amazing. Wow. So I love a lot of things were kind of hitting for me. Like something that I heard people, Pastor Chris, pastor of the church I go to, Epic Baltimore, say is like, you see that homeless person, you don't think about it, but that was someone that was made in the image of God, and it's like they're obviously not living at their full potential, and you're actually out here doing something about it. So for those of you who don't know, City Fam, if you're watching this, we do a service event every month. We also do social events, but we use our social events as kind of recruitment tools for people that may have wanted to volunteer and just didn't know how to get started, for them to actually get started. So it starts with a social event. People come out, they have a good time. We take a portion of the money from the social event, we give it to a local cause, and then we actually go serve that cause. And the reason that we do that is to build community, but also there's a lot of benefits to volunteering, and that's what I really wanted to talk to Josh about today, because I think people want to, but then they don't do it. But if they knew the long-term benefit of it, they might be more prone to volunteer. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what you see the benefits of volunteering. I know what I think they are, or know they are, but I wanted to hear from you.
It's really amazing. You get people, I have, my circle is a lot of suburbia, people that aren't used to the city, so they're not used to this type of thing. They don't see it a whole lot. And, I ask them, what did you think it was going to be like when you got here? And they're like, really, I have no idea. But now that you've gone through it, what was it like? Every single one of them, every single time, that was amazing. I can't wait to do this again. And really, we've talked about it a little bit offline, but I really think that there's something inside of us that is like a gauge. And when we start giving, back, and when we start serving, it starts filling that gauge up, and you start feeling pretty freaking amazing. So I'll come out and I will be in the worst mood, fight with my wife, yelling at the kids, out the door, hating life, trying to figure out, can I get out of going out tonight? And I swear to you, every single time I go, and my attitude is quickly reversed. And part of it is coming face to face with people who have nothing, but yet are the most grateful people I've met. And part of it, I think, is that thing that God puts inside of us that's like, it feeds off of that. And I think we don't realize that because we don't feed it enough. But it starts growing and it changes who you are. It literally changes who you are. So I know you do a lot too. Like, tell me what's your experience with serving? You guys are out at least once a month. You know, what do you see?
So I say a lot. You know, for me, I think volunteering is the intelligent way to be selfish, because you give back and then you get something from it. Like, you actually feel good later. You get a little high on life. For me, I talk about it's been a big part of my recovery process, because it's proven medically that when you volunteer that you get like releases of chemicals in your brain that are very similar to like drugs and alcohol. So like for me, dopamine and other things like that. So when I got sober, I poured myself into volunteering through a church, and I started to like myself and really feel good about myself, you know, long term, instead of just liking myself and feeling good in a moment when I used to drink or use drugs. And I think as humans, we try to jack the system where we try to feel good without doing the work. Right. But when you volunteer, it's like going to the gym. You put in a little bit of work, and then later you look in the mirror and you feel good. And for me, that it's been a big part of my recovery process. But also, I think that when you volunteer, you cultivate community with other people that don't just have their eyes on themselves. So when something happens in your life and the shit hits the fan, like it inevitably will, then you have real friends, because you've cultivated a community of people that aren't only thinking about themselves like so much of the rest of the world. You know, which is what I found out in my life, was when I was very popular bad things happened, I realized how few friends I had, because all my relationships were built on nothing. They were just built on fun, they were built on selfish pursuits. And now I feel like, because I volunteer with a great group of people, that, you know, I have deeper friendships, and it's also that sense of pride and self-esteem that you have, knowing that you're making a positive difference to the community.
Yeah, it's funny, I just thought of this. I had a lot of similarities to Rob, and it would go, you know, I'd be drunk Saturday too, and I remember coming out of it, sitting in a friend's living room, which I've told you, just sitting in a friend's living room trying to grunt it out, like, we're not drinking anymore, we're playing Monopoly, I don't know what's going on. I'm used to being in the clubs in Baltimore, and now here I am in this environment, totally unfamiliar.
I was just talking to a friend, if anybody's watching, I think it's important to mention, social is a big, like, why we do social events with City Fam is because it is a big part of specifically a recovery process, because you have to have things to look forward to. Yeah. Like, and this is somebody that I know that's struggling with an addiction, and they're just trying to grunt it out, and I'm like, look, you have to socialize like it's your job. Yeah. Because you have to have things to look forward to, and you have to have reward. Yeah. If you don't give yourself reward, eventually, you know, you can't white knuckle it forever. Eventually you'll just be like, F it, and you'll go back to that addiction because you want to escape reality or have a little fun. So you need social too, and for us at City Fam, it's not just, you know, for us, it's not just a, hey, let's go out and have a good time. It's actually socializing with intention. It's actually socializing to become the best version of yourself.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, we see it all the time. Like, our news feeds are constantly rolling with so-and-so just passed away, and I can't believe, how did this happen? You know, it's just so important. We've got people in their rooms at home at night with no other thought of what they can do to escape what's going on than drugs, you know, than shooting up or whatever you do. I'm so idiot when it comes to that. But so it's not just for you, but it's for your brother, it's for your sister as well. So get out there and find out, you know, what God wants from you, what you can do, how you can help, and how you can change yourself. Because I know both of us, I knew both of us back then, we are like as different can be. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I would not have it any other way. Life is amazing, and I'm grateful that I get to play a part.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See you.